that's sort of where we as parents have to come in, is this sort of, it's going to be pretty difficult to shelter our kids or our teenagers from this. It's just everywhere. So I think, you know, the best way to confront it is to prepare them for it. We can, you know, addressing the issue rather than saying, you know, oh, my kid's not, you know, I'm not going to let them watch as much TV, which, you know, that's always good to keep, put limits on things, but it's very difficult. 64% of teens are watching TV and on the internet, and 48% of teens log into Facebook daily. In addition, Facebook is, every company in the world has Facebook it's incorporated into its sales and marketing efforts. So it's sort of gone, you know, the marketing term has gone viral. It's taken peer pressure now, and it's gone viral with it. It's every time your child or teen logs into Facebook, there's 400 to 600 friends that are you know, sort of promoting some of this agenda. So valuing responsibility and accountability, fiscal responsibility and fiscal accountability, is something that it hasn't changed, despite the change in the atmosphere of what's being marketed to our kids. You know, I was saying before that comprehensive sex education, you know, it's been found that this reduces teenage pregnancy, and so it's been included in the school agenda, and it's something that. How many of your parents talk to you about sex ed? Okay. So it was sort of it was a taboo topic. Today, I think it's changed. I think all of our kids have some sex education. With finance, though, it seems that it's as much or more of a taboo topic. They're not getting a good, you know, comprehensive financial education. One way is to sort of look through new eyes at the manipulation of the media. What are they being taught, and to sort of help them think about this differently. And it's, you know, it's never too late to begin instilling value of financial responsibility. So a couple ways things that I like to address with parents is often, you know, it starts by sort of looking at ourselves and saying to ourselves, you know, what are the values that we're trying to instill in our kids? What's our financial legacy? Is what I like to call it. A lot of us either feel or say, you know, I won't do to my kids what my parents did to me. I won't be my parents. And often that parents who, you know, grew up with financial burdens themselves, they try to shelter their kids from hardships or financial constraint, but they're unconsciously repeating these patterns regarding money. They're allowing their past to trigger their relationship with their children now. So awareness of our own financial legacy, consciously choosing what we want to pass down to our children is important. If we're not doing that, we're using compensation and we're using denial. We're either going to compensate for what we didn't get growing up, or deny that, you know, for instance, here's where, especially the economy as it's changed, comes into play. You know, if you tell your kid at 17, you know, I'll get you a car, the economy changes, it's something that's not affordable anymore. If your child has had, you know, sort of these values instilled in their upbringing, they'll be able to understand. You know, instead of being arbitrary about it, you're just not getting it or just avoiding the issue, tackling it head on and explaining that this is our financial situation. This is what's happened. So here are the new options. Any questions about that? Another parental sort of a strategy is to sort of really you know, promote toughness into your. You were barefoot, and it was uphill, right?
Both ways.
Right. So you know, you might not have had to walk in the snow, but maybe you didn't have your own TV, or maybe you didn't have your own car, or you probably didn't have your own cell phone. So you can't really look back and compare. You can't say, for instance, if your child has a job or an allowance, you know, these are great ways to instill responsibility, accountability. They're almost, you know, teaching tools, but to sort of expect the to say to yourself, well, I supported myself on my on the job I had, you know, in the 70s. It's a little bit different. Society has changed, but what hasn't changed are the values. Being fiscally responsible, being accountable to reality, really, to what's affordable. So even though the media bombardment, you know, everything that sort of has changed in society, this really doesn't have to change. The idea that being responsible is, you know, the same values that you had growing up, that you want your kid to have, you can hold true to those. With teenagers, a fear of the future is something that's really a primary issue when you're talking to them really about anything that's new, or especially in regards to adulthood. Even though they want to be separate and they want to be independent, they still also want to be children. They sort of often they want the they want to be able to make the choice, but don't fully understand what it is to will be accountable to that choice. They struggle with anxiety that comes with this realization that they're going to be on their own, and they want to be grown up, but they want their parents to still take care of things for them. There's sort of a contradictory feeling, and this usually is yes.
So is it a bad thing to kind of like do the countdown so when you're 18 years old, like this year?
So how do you mean?
Well, I have a teenager and I kind of tell them, 3 more years and you're 18 years old.
Uh-huh.
You're on your own.
Uh-huh.
Just to kind of make it real.
Yeah.
And, you know, my husband, was like, yeah, by the time I was 18, I was out of the house working as a busboy, going to school.
Uh-huh.
Is it a bad thing to kind of put that out there?
How does he respond to it?
They kind of, well, she kind of like,
She, yeah.
oh yeah, kind of like, yeah.
Uh-huh.
You know, like, yeah, you're right, yeah. I better like doing something about it, huh, kind of thing.
Right.
Kind of like a fear, like in agreement, but you can tell she's still kind of like trying to be cool, like, oh yeah, you know.
Uh-huh.
But, you know, but then that whole thing of, oh, but I'm going to be driving the same kind of thing.
Right.
You know, like the fun aspect of the future.
Right.
And
What are you trying to instill by saying that 3 years?
preparation, you need